Evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm a little tired, but I did the workout thing this evening, clearly
Good.
washed my hair, and I'm like, it's after hours. I can be a little more authentic.
I love, it's after hours, so I was able to make an espresso martini.
Groundbreaking.
I know, me drinking espresso martinis are just absolutely shocking. Who would have ever have heard it?
You know, it wasn't too long ago when you didn't drink coffee.
Oh, I think the my very first time ever drinking espresso or coffee in my life was with you on the Allure those many summers ago.
2018.
I remember I ordered it like a shot of espresso, and I didn't know you didn't like. And I took a shot of it, and you were like, "Oh
That,
my
that,
gosh, I hate
that,
God!"
that speaks to your other habits. I was like,
You were like, "Jason,
trying to
you can burn
put
you,
that.
you can burn you." Yeah, that was fun. And then I started ordering it every night, and I hated it. And then I only for a while drank it on cruises. Now I'm
as a
very
pick,
addicted. Huh?
as a pick me up.
Yeah, but now I'm fully addicted to coffee and espresso, and I make
You
very
know,
good espresso martinis at home.
do you know what's so wild is like you went from that to you get Starbucks every day. You drink iced
Mm.
coffee like it's water.
It's true. All of this is true. All of this is true. So let's talk briefly about the independence of the seas.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so as much as I swore off kind of doing three nighters because it's a love hate thing. It's just so much in a short time span.
Okay.
And getting back to work on Mondays and Fridays um, is just kind of chaotic. So
So, what kind of room did you have?
I had an owner suite.
Okay, that's nice.
So I this was my second owner suite because I had one with you on the Jewel. Very
Oh,
similar
right. Okay. Yeah,
setup.
yeah. So this is your second one. Okay.
But I will say, and I think this is a frequent issue no matter what cabin you're in, is that there's these revitalized ships, your freedom, your this, your that, and the rooms are not. Like there
No.
were so many like I know first world problems. I was in a suite, but there were just so many little maintenance things that just started adding up for this sailing.
Sure.
Like for example, there was like this cracked hole in the back of the door to the stateroom going out to the hallway, like right above the handle. The balcony door barely opened the first day. We had to have maintenance come up there because it was like wobbling off like the thing. There was a set of dressers underneath the desk that when you pulled to open them, the whole like dresser fell forward because it wasn't attached. Like there's just like a lot of little things that when you're paying X amount of dollars for a suite, you would
Yeah. Right.
expect. I will say, being in hotels, Jeff knowing how I am, he took some pictures and showed them. Like we really weren't expecting anything. It was kind of one of those like, my wife works in hotels. Like I would want to know if something wasn't up to par.
Right.
And the hotel manager was very, very much mortified and ended up giving us a 30% credit of what we had paid on that sailing for another future sailing.
I mean, that's
So,
fantastic.
and we didn't ask for it. It was just like, it was a, hey, here's what's going on. Um, Whatnot. One of the things I will say, and I know a couple other people in our group have noticed this as well, is these ships are really, really short staffed.
Yes.
Really. And I mean, for this being a weekend cruise, I think they said there was 3,500 people on board.
Oh my God.
And they're operating that with 25% less crew.
Mm.
And that is just, it's a lot. And it was noticeable. I mean, these, poor workers are running ragged. We were told that they're working, by one of them, that they're working like 7 days a week, 11-hour days. And they're pretty much rolling them into new contracts because the demeanor is if you don't roll into a new contract, you won't have a job to come back to. Supposedly, they're having issues getting certain employees back from certain countries. That is an issue. But overall, I mean, like, it was a perfect day at Coco Cay. The weather was beautiful.
Coco
And
Cay is always a good time.
it is. And I have to say, I was a little nervous because we were also there with Harmony. And I was like, oh my God, is this going to be like
It's a lot of people.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, around the main Oasis Lagoon area, was it tough to find a chair if you didn't get out early? Yes. But the pool wasn't crowded. There really weren't huge waits and lines for food. Like, it was a lot better than I anticipated it being. So
Good.
no, it was great. So you have a cruise coming up. It's your turn. I feel like I'm doing a tag your it situation.
I'm doing something very, very different. I'm flying to Florida this weekend, Friday, and on Saturday, I am boarding the Norwegian Joy.
So I am actually really, really excited to see you do this for a couple reasons. One, I've always kind of wondered because, Royal Caribbean and Norwegian are like
that's their closest competitors. They are each other's closest competitors. Absolutely.
And, obviously, like, loyalty has had a been played into, Royal Caribbean's familiar for my family-esque travels.
Mm-hmm.
But I am interested to see your comparison on a face value.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also really excited to see your comparison on the suite value because you're doing some like seminar work, some tours.
Right.
Because aside from Wonder, when you get a suite with Royal Caribbean, compared to other suite products in the market, I feel like it's the worst. So,
yeah, I mean, I think Royals is still better than Carnival. Carnival, you're literally getting you're getting just a bigger room. There's not even restaurants involved, right? But no, you're absolutely right. Between like a lot of the mainstream brands, Royal, Norwegian, MSC, Norwegian has the Haven, MSC has Yacht Club, Celebrity has the Retreat. So having the branded suite program is not a new thing. It's not something that's just mind-blowingly different or unique to one cruise line, but Royal Caribbean just does not have it. So I'm anxious to see how the Haven compares to what Royal does. And look, compare it to, I'm a huge fan of the Retreat. You know that. So I'm looking forward to it. And comparing it to Virgin Suite program, right? So there's just...
How long are you on board?
It's a week.
Oh, so you're really gonna get all of it. Now they do quite a few things different, right? Like there's the dynamic dining. I'm really not NCL heavy, so I don't know.
Freestyle dining, no true formal night. I think it'll be interesting. Their adult on the area looks wonderful, so I'm looking forward to kind of hanging out there.
I thought you were gonna hang out at the kids' pool.
Oh, you know how much I love children. So yeah, I mean, look, it'll be a great experience. I've never sailed with NCL before. This is my first time, so it will be a great opportunity to just kind of see what they do. I book NCL often, so looking forward to it. Not the it's a 7-night Western Caribbean, so we're going to their private island in the Western Caribbean, which it looks very nice. Going to Cozumel. You and I both love Cozumel.
I sure do. Do I know where you're going to end up?
Let's see. Woody's, Dick's Dives,
Wendy's.
Wendy's. Yeah, I just love it down there. Love it, love it, love it. I don't think I'll ever do one of those all day resorts like ever again. No, I would do the bar hop again with a group of people in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, with a group. But I mean, like, save your money, go to the beach
Mm-hmm.
at another stop,
Mm-hmm.
and go to the Centro or go snorkeling. And with Tim over there on his boat, I know the
Right.
best have gone with him. You know, like if you're gonna do Cozumel, you need to be in the water. You need to be in the Centro. It's one of the two. When I say
I
in the
agree.
water, on the
I,
boat,
I
taking
almost,
pictures
I
of
almost,
fish.
I almost died in the water. Remember, I was like, I don't need a life vest. Oof, those waves were big. Hey, I made it.
They,
I made it.
and you guys, Jason has been to Cozumel so many times.
Yes,
And
many, many,
you
many.
should have seen his face when we got out to that one point and there were those massive starfish just everywhere.
I forgot about that.
It was kind of like a
Yeah,
kid in
that
a
was
candy
cool.
shop. You're like, oh my God.
No, it was great. I love Cozumel. I would go to Cozumel in a heartbeat if you wanted to go. Like just I mean, I would go in a heartbeat. I loved it. Loved it.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
Hey, Ruby, how are you tonight? But no, I'm just really excited because, I think sometimes, like being a parent myself with a 12-year-old, I'm kind of always, well, soon to be a 12-year-old, I'm always kind of curious what kind of experience, because we're wanting something a little more elevated, but something that still caters to her while getting the best inclusive bang for your buck. And it's nice to
right.
have options.
I agree. So we were talking before we recorded about a couple Delta things.
We
So let's
were
let's
shocking.
dig in. I know I was talking about Delta, shocking. So let's dig in. So you were saying the Delta CEO was asking the Biden administration to end all COVID restrictions.
Yep, for air travel.
So what do you? I mean, do you think it's time to end the mask mandates on flights?
um, I actually think it's time for people to decide what they want to do. I
Okay.
think maybe not the testing portion shouldn't go away, just like coming in from being overseas. I don't know. I think it's just we're all over it. We're all over it. We're done with it. If you're vaccinated by now, you're vaccinated. I will still probably, even if that goes away, still wear a mask on planes because I travel a lot for work, and in the last year, I've really only been sick once.
No, same. Right. Same.
What are
Yeah,
your thoughts?
I mean, look, I think it's coming. I think politically, it's coming. Right? People are just although minus certain airlines, most passengers on American, United, Delta, um, even like Southwest out of Nashville, most of those people are following the rules and just doing what you need to do, right? It's
I
only
feel like
just
I
a
see all these things in the news. I'm like, I like rarely, other than that flight coming home from Nassau last June, did I see somebody, and he wasn't even like belligerently doing it. He was just drunk.
right. Right. So, I mean, I think the end is nearing with the mask mandate, but I think we have normalized wearing masks. And look, I could totally see people still wearing masks on a plane, especially if you're in economy with more people around you. But the air on the airplane is not like regular air. I mean, it is filtered.
No.
It is filtered so well. Each compartment has its own like separate filtration system. I mean, we just haven't seen mass breakouts come back to flights. So I think it might be time to end it.
Yes. And speaking of Delta, we have a little bit of an issue from one of our members that I would love to go over with you because I know that I was tagged and I think she forgot your tag, but your name's there. So I'm gonna read it
Okay.
and we're gonna talk about this. So Haley Whiting and Jason are big Delta fans. This is from Alex Kaufman. This weekend, trying to book our airfare to Rome for the transatlantic. We spent hours needlessly. A, for the reservation to be processed. B, we were auto assigned 2 seats on the opposite side of the plane. C, my husband's credit card was charged 3 times for the same reservation. D, wait times you couldn't get through on Friday were 5 hours plus, gave up after 3. E got up early on Saturday and wait times were longer. Getting nervous because you only have 24 hours to cancel without penalty. We canceled, not worth it, not worth the aggravation. They booked Lufthansa and it was easy peasy. I've been tracking airfares and they are steadily going up. So, why don't we pick?
Lufthansa is Star Alliance, right?
Star Alliance United.
Yeah. Okay. I just looked it up. I mean, okay. So let's start with where I definitely agree with her. The wait times are too long, right?
Oh, they're mean.
They're way too long. Look, there are companies in the travel industry who have just not scaled. Look, one of them is our dear Royal Caribbean. I waited on hold today for 45 minutes and no one picked up. So I was just like, I had to email it in and email my sales help rep and just be like, you have to help me with this. I can't sit on hold all day for one booking, right? But then you have people like Norwegian, Celebrity, like they pick up the phone, okay? So Delta has really struggled with the call volume. Luckily, with both of us being platinum, diamonds soon, hopefully, we have priority lines. But just because you're a loyal customer doesn't mean you should be the only people to talk to a customer service agent very quickly, right? If I gave United thousands of dollars and had an issue and I'm a new United person, I would expect to speak to somebody on the phone in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah. The wait times are crazy. And I believe also only for the platinum, gold, diamond lines do you get the option for a callback. Because I know that Jeff used to make me call when he needed something through my line because otherwise you have to wait on hold. Like, I need to normalize that because,
I do that all the time.
I say this to hotels all the time. It's time to stop using COVID as an excuse for shitty service. It's after hours. I will call it shitty service and I will call it what it is.
Yeah, I agree.
On the flip side of that, that is the benefit to kind of aligning yourself. I mean, there's times where I definitely groan because Delta is considerably more than its comparison. But, kind of when I call, my calls answered pretty soon. If I need something,
yeah,
it's the flip side. Like, it should never be that long. No. But there's also that plus of aligning yourself. That's kind of something you give up if you are doing more price-driven searching on your flights, which, I mean, completely get it. Airfare can be ridiculous.
Yep, absolutely. But look, loyalty to an airline has its perks. And one of those is people pick up the phone. Now, but again, I'm still not justifying Delta's long wait time.
Yeah, no, 3 to 5 hours, like that's obscene.
The same, you just have to hire more people.
And the piece of the credit card. So I have had this happen twice now on Delta.
So I have never had this happen. So how did it happen? How did you resolve it? What's going on?
So for me, it happened once when I was trying to book a flight or like move a flight and I had to pay extra. And they ended up pre-authing my card. It was before I went to Paris last year. Jeff was like upgrading, and they authed my card like 6 or 8 times. Like I had like $8,000 in pending charges from Delta, which, when you're traveling and your card's getting tied up, we ended up trying to use another card. That wasn't the issue. I think there's a back end issue going on with Delta. And I've shown Jason, for example, some of the GDS and hotel PMS systems on the back end. And these systems are so old. Like, It's not as simple as like, oh, click, 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 click. like you are using F9, F4 to tap.
You're tabbing everywhere. Tap, tap, tap.
It's so bad. And then there's different codes. Like it is, I had to take a class doing a GDS system in college. So, I mean, they're a mess. I think they're having a huge back end system because more recently when I went to Barcelona and I tried buying these premium select upgrades, they popped for $249, which is a steal.
I think that was a mistake.
I think it might have been a mistake. But I mean, even with my platinum line, I spent 90 minutes on the phone waiting, getting things situated, and my card got charged a couple times because it wasn't showing fully through. Like it showed approved, but it wasn't applying. I think that is a combination of a back-end system that needs to be updated and honestly a lot of new people, because a lot of people in the airline industry took early retirement.
Right.
And now you have a wave of inexperienced people. Olivia's home.
Well, so I'll talk briefly if you need to mute. So you also talked about the issue with Delta auto assigning seats on different parts of the plane. Guys, if you're booking a flight, especially a long haul flight, you always should click the seat map and it will show you the available seats while you are shopping for the flights. So I always look at what seats are available before I purchase them. And look, when you do check out, a lot of times it does just auto assign you seats. And it's super easy to go into the reservation and just click. I mean, Delta makes it very easy to change your seats on the phone app. It's super easy.
Super easy, but there's so many people that I talk to that don't think to click on that. They're like, okay, I'll just pull up the map and then I'll do this. And Delta, with the way that it assigns seats, so some airlines, as you're going through that final screen, will pull up flight by flight. It doesn't always do that on Delta.
It does when you click select seat. So I typically
you have to click that. But some airlines, I'm trying to think of one. I think JetBlue is kind of like this, where it just takes you to the screen, like before it's finalized. So you select your seat, then you get to that final page. So I think there's a combination of that. I'm trying to think if there were anything else I wanted to tag onto this. But I mean, part of the reason I always check that seat map, because you can it pulls up that list of flights. You can click view details, view seats. Like that's why going to Hawaii next month, I opted to fly Wednesday instead of Thursday because I'm doing that wait list with my regional certificates for Delta One. I was waiting to see because there were significantly more Delta One flights on the Wednesday flight versus the Thursday flight. So I will pick my seat. Like, for example, flying back Monday, I was trying to pick a flight because I booked this a little later than sooner with this cruise. I picked a flight where there were a lot more first class seats open because I was hoping to get an upgrade.
Okay.
And it was a better plane.
I'm flying Friday, and I'm hoping for a free upgrade to first class, but there's only 2 seats left, and I'm flying through Atlanta. So
that's where upgrades go to die.
That's where upgrade dreams
go to die.
Especially if you're not if you're diamond, you probably have a decent shot. But lowly platinum through Atlanta, you are not getting it. But it's fine.
It's so wild because I show Jason, I'm like, I will go to other hubs. I will go to Detroit.
Yeah, you got right
to the 2 different New York airports. 95% of the time as a platinum member, I get an upgrade. 95% of the time.
Right.
Atlanta, it is a hard pass. But I'm glad Alex.
But if it's a short flight, I truly don't mind booking economy and picking a Comfort Plus seat with our status. Like, I really do not mind it for a short flight.
No, it is what it is, because even on those really, really little planes, I forget which CRJ it is, like, they don't have first class. They just have 1 row of Comfort Plus in the front, and it's bulkhead seat, and it's awful.
Mm-hmm.
It is so bad. I'm looking at some of the comments that were in here. So I had asked Alex as well if it was ITA or Delta Metal. She said she tried with ITA, showed no availability for the premium economy, then went to Delta. I mean, this also goes to show that hole in Europe that they're having a horrible time.
Look, so today I booked someone's flight, helped them book a flight. They're doing the same transatlantic, and they went to fly Delta. We looked up business class Delta One, and it was 8,000, 8,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, 8,000, 2,200, 8,000, 8,000. 2,200 was ITA. Now, these clients, they're great clients, great people. They don't fly a lot. So they don't care about Delta status. They're like miles. So they're going to get the miles, but they're like, we're not going to hit silver or platinum or gold. They're like, so just put us on the ITA. And so we went to Seat Guru. We saw they had like the inward two, inward two configuration. We picked the seats for them, and they're going to have a great time sitting up front on ITA.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's still like a better seat than sitting in economy. And right. One thing you guys got to keep in mind too, and I don't know if this is where you're going, when you are booking a Euro partner airline, be it Lufthansa, via Air France, via ITA, via KLM, their version of a spacious business cabin is not the same.
It's economy, 3 rows, and they block out the middle seat. That's why it's called.
Remember the way the KLM business class was set up, though? Like the seats, like it was in like Delta One, but it was 2, 2, and 2. And it was those weird seats like I sat in on Monday night. It's not the same thing.
No, and and if you see like a Delta European business, that's often just like the whole plane is economy, but the European business seats, they just block out the middle seat. Like, it's not the same. Now, so speaking of European partnership, I have found a slight, not loophole, but I guess I've come to terms with connecting in Europe on some of these long haul flights. Okay. So like when I fly to Rome for the transatlantic, I'm not doing ITA, but I need my medallion status, right? You and I've discussed this at length. Delta's like $8,000, and I'm not doing that, right? But there is a middle ground, right? If I am willing to connect in Paris through Charles de Gaulle and
Air
fly
Air France has had a lot of options lately, to be honest.
Right. So I almost see my next couple times to Europe, Haley, I think I'm going to be on Air France, but I don't care because I'm going to earn all of my Delta Sky Miles medallion, #SkyTeam, right? So I'm kind of, I would rather fly Delta Metal. Of course I would. But like, I'm okay sitting up front on Air France. I really am.
I think Air France out of those partnerships is probably the most comparative. Metal wise,
their planes are newer. Some of the KLM planes are old, which is weird because they're like, the same company, and I'm just shocked that their fleets look so different. Like I would fly Air France over KLM in a heartbeat.
100%. Oh, and
but I would still.
I just thought of a quick plug. I'm sorry it came to me because I was looking for things for us to talk about. If you need Marriott points, today's your last day to get the 50% bonus if you buy points.
So Haley, let's talk about what I did for my hotel in Fort Lauderdale for Friday night.
Yeah.
So good. I'm getting the joy. Like
for Jason staying.
So Haley convinced me to book this like Marriott hotel property. I'm flying into Fort Lauderdale, cruises out of Miami, flying home out of Miami. But I just like Fort Lauderdale better, so I want to spend the night before the cruise in Fort Lauderdale. I like Fort Lauderdale better than Miami, right?
Same. I said what I said.
I like it better. So I'm excited to fly into Fort Lauderdale. I'll just take a lift the next morning. So anyways, so I booked a Marriott hotel property, and it was new. It looked very nice.
A lot of the hotels are really expensive. My Marriott little friend code for Jason wasn't even.
I think it took like $30. Like it wasn't a lot. So I'm like, ugh, whatever, I'll just do it. But I really wanted to stay at the spring break. I wanted to stay at the Hyatt Centric Los Olas in Fort Lauderdale, the new Hyatt Centric in Fort Lauderdale. I really liked that hotel, but it was like $600.
And a Hyatt Centric is not worth $600.
No, I would pay that for like a nice
grand Hyatt for that price.
Right, I agree.
To put that in scope here.
Right. So yada, yada, yada. The Hyatt Centric sold out. It came back on Monday, and I had a free night stay, but book enough times, and it became eligible for that night. So I canceled my Marriott, booked the Hyatt Centric, staying for free.
I believe that's a tip I've given you, sir. When I talk about repricing and rechecking your hotel rates, my rule of thumb is a month out, 2 weeks out, 1 week out, and roughly 3 to 4 days out.
Right. So it was a good idea. I kept checking. I'm glad I checked. Also, this is why I booked a refundable hotel room.
Not through a third party, direct.
Right. So it worked out very well. I'm much more excited to stay at the Hyatt Centric. But I would like to hit status with Hyatt again this year. Might be hard, but it's 10 nights. I don't know that I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try.
I hope you can do it. If not, you'll have to take a little weekend trip to the Baha Mar or something.
Darn it! I hate the Baha Mar. But you know what? The only bad thing about the Grand Hyatt Baha Mar, seriously though, is next door there's an SLS. It's much smaller. The rooms aren't as nice. It's connected to the Grand Hyatt though, but they have day pool parties, like day clubs out at the pool, but only that's the only thing SLS people can do, right? But the hotels are connected, and you can kind of intermingle between them. It's not that big of a deal. It's like Venetian, Palazzo, but I know the same company, but pretend they weren't. You could go back and forth easily. But the SLS day clubs are only for people staying at the SLS.
Disney to have that back in the day where you could kind of like park hop or like resort hop a little bit. But then all the people at the value resorts were coming over to the really nice pools and hogging up the pools at the like villas and deluxe resorts. So they kind of
nice.
But, oh my goodness. Well, Jason, I know that you have plans this evening. So this is a fun little powwow. And just so you guys know, we're very close to officially launching some stuff that we've been talking about.
I'm excited.
A little bit of time on that today. So very excited. Remember, if you guys want to join our travel group, this is it right up here, todayintravel.live. We'll take you there. You can post your travel favorites, ask questions. And then Jason and I host a weekly talk show on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard, except every so often we do an after hour, something that's a little less polished for you guys questions. So thank you so much for being a part of this group. We're hoping to be at 1,000 people by the end of this year. We're already over halfway there. We would love to have you.
Hopefully my Wi-Fi on the ship holds and I can do it live from the Joy.
I hope so. I'm really excited to see you do this.
I'm excited. I'll be posting lots of Instagram stuff, posting on Facebook, so on Twitter. So great. All right, guys, we'll have a lovely evening. Haley, it was great seeing you. Cheers. It's almost time for another martini. So bye, guys.